You feel this nervousness on the phone there?
Sir, I've been trying to make an urgent phone call up there.
Well, I don't think it's something I want to do on an overseas phone.
You gotta make some phone calls. Hang up the phone. Prank caller. Prank caller.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Packernet After Dark. This is the call-in show, the Packernet Podcast Network. If you'd like to call in, if you'd like to participate in the show, please feel free to do so. The phone number here is 608-501-0718. New callers go directly to the front of the line. We do not have any new callers today. Let me change a couple things. Beep, bap, boop. But we have Nico from Idaho.
Man, I don't know what to think. I'm just watching the Jets Buccaneers game, and they just blocked a kick and ran it back.
A lot of that going around.
Philly did the same thing against the Rams, and then we get a kick block. When's the last time you've seen 3 kick blocks, like at the same game time? That's crazy. I don't know. This is just a crap win. They were off all day. They did some good things right, but then at the end, I'm not going to blame the refs, because only losers blame the refs. But if I were to blame the refs, I would say that all those pass and interference calls, when it was, they just kept trying to get them to score. Now our defense held up, and they had that chop block call that pushed them back. But all those pass interference calls in the end zone were horrible.
Yeah.
And of course the frickin' refs or the announcers have to just ginger walk. Oh, maybe it was illegal in contact after 5 yards. Well, you're on the 3-yard line and you make contact before the end zone. It's clearly not 5 yards.
Right.
But they beat themselves. That interception was horrible, letting the thing get blocked. They could have won it. Just could have frickin' won it. Kicked an easy field goal. So I don't know. But, it's early the season. I know we wanted to win every game, which we can't do. That's just not going to happen. This is a good one to lose to maybe get the team a little centered. It's an AFC team. Doesn't really matter, They're still, I don't know, even though the other records of the other teams, even if someone else is 2-1, they'll be in the top seat, in our division still. So it's not the worst loss. It's just I hate losing, especially when it was a crappy game to watch anyways. So I guess I don't have to call them next week because I thought that's why they were winning. But, overflew them. Anyways, just go back home, and I guess I'll have to get over this one. Bye.
Well, everybody was upset last year when we won all the games we were supposed to win and lost the really, really hard games. Is this better? Is this what you would prefer? You'd rather that we can beat all the really good teams, but then we just start dropping? Everybody's like, oh, this is classic Packers. We literally didn't do it last year. I don't know what you're talking about. Unless you're talking about the Bears game, which give me a freaking break. This is the opposite of last year, and everybody complained about it. I prefer what we did last year. I would rather be a team that beats all the teams you're supposed to beat and wins the tough games, but lost a handful of just like losing to the 15-win teams. I feel like that maybe it's not better, because then you feel like, what are the odds we're going to win the Super Bowl? But I don't know. I don't feel better about this. So, I don't know. Maybe it's something. If we assume you're not going to win every game, which would you prefer? I don't know. And yeah, if we were to gripe about the referees, I think there's a very good case to be made about that final play where the ref, you're supposed to hand the ball to the ref, and then they spot the ball before the play can continue. The Browns were allowed to spot their own ball. The center just said, this is where we're playing from, spotted the ball. The ref comes up, taps it, and runs out of the way. Now, couple things, like you said, that's kind of a loser mentality to worry about that kind of stuff. It would also be a really cheap way to win the game, I will say, to be like, well, technically, I can't just touch the ball and be like, yeah, that's close enough. I have to grab it and set it down. That's the rules, so I guess you lose, idiots. The reality is they played well enough to get down there. They played that ball well enough to get down there, and we deserve to lose. And so, for that reason, I do think the refs sucked, as they always do in every single game forever. And that spotting the ball thing was nonsense, and a lot of the calls against the Packers were stupid. And the announcers constantly pretending that they weren't stupid, that they were actually right, that Josh Jacobs' fumble thing was beyond infuriating. Like, oh, look, he's got it. He's got it. Like, bro, like, see the white gloves? Look at the white gloves. The white gloves right there. That's the defender there, whatever his name was. And he's got it. He's got it right now. Yeah, you know who else had it? The yellow gloves. You frickin' moron. The guy with the yellow gloves, who is Josh Jacobs. I mean, they had me so nervous that this was going to get overturned just by... I'm not even kidding. I started getting into conspiracy things where I'm thinking, bro, if they keep saying this, I'm worried that the people upstairs are listening to the game or whatever, and they're thinking, boy, we better overturn this because they're saying, like, I'm legitimately starting to panic that they're putting so much emphasis on how obviously this was overturned that we're just completely screwed. I mean, I'm so sick of that. I'm tired of what feels like, and I know everybody feels like the refs are always against them, and they're right, because the refs are kind of against everybody. There were bad calls against the Browns, I think. I don't know, probably at least one or two. But man, the announcers make me as mad, if not more mad, than the refs with their terrible, just piling on and making everything worse. You know, they take these terrible calls, and as annoying as that is, then you got these guys going, oh yeah, there it was. There what was? What are you talking about? There was nothing there. I mean, at least sometimes when they don't see it, they just don't say anything. I'm fine with that. I don't need you to start a freaking riot out on the field because that was such a bad call. But don't come out and say it was a good call. You know what I mean? Like, at least just when the review, because I'll take that as vindication. When that review happens and they're watching it back and there's just dead silence, it's like, yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's my thoughts precisely. But yeah, it's, again, they deserve to lose the way they were playing. At least the offense. The defense did not deserve to lose that game. But neither did the Browns defense. Browns defense played out of their minds. Both offenses deserve to lose. The Packers just found a way. They found a way to be worse somehow. Crazy. Freaking crazy.
Going on, little modified fighter. How y'all doing? I'm pissed like everybody else, but I'm gonna be honest. We deserve to win that game.
Right.
In general, like we played like crap for the whole game. Blocking, offensive line couldn't block. I mean, it was just terrible all game. I felt bad for a lot of our skill players. And then Jordan Love had two bonehead mistakes. One was taking the sack instead of throwing the ball away.
Right.
When the linebacker came and hit him, when he ran to the right, he just threw the ball away. Instead, he tried to look for somebody and get hit. So, yeah, to give up on that series. And then, I don't know if it's a miscommunication, but I'm like looking at it pre-snap. It's like you see there are players right there, but he's so scared of the O-line not blocking that he only want to stay back there for the throw. And he just go ahead and throw the interception. That was dumb. And then the whole time I'm at work. And
that was my concern kind of coming into this game. You might remember that comment that I had made about the Browns, and that I was kind of nervous because when Jordan gets flustered, he kind of does some stupid stuff. And if the defensive line can get Jordan flustered, you might see some of that. And sure enough, not that I thought he was terrible all game outside of those mistakes, and granted, they were massive mistakes, but I do think he actually played pretty solid football, all things considered. Not as good as Flacco, who is apparently the greatest quarterback in the history of the world while under pressure all of a sudden once he plays the freaking Packers. I've never seen anything like that in my life. His arm gets smacked halfway through the throw, and it still gets to the guy with perfect accuracy in full strength. It was just meant to be. It was freaking meant to be. But anyways.
I'm sitting here like, no. If the kid coming out, I said, no, they're going to mess this up. Because the way that he played, they're going to mess this up. And sure, it's certain they messed it up.
Sure
like,
shooting.
Just the blocking. Again, with the blocking, like, it's crazy. I don't think that was a long snap before. I think they just went over that side. And, it's just bad. Because it's like, how are you supposed to win and you lose against the Browns? The team ain't win no games.
Yeah.
The offense was trash the whole daggone game.
Real bad.
And you lose because of that. So what I'm hoping is you turn a negative into a positive. So we lost. But even gambling, I should have bet. Like I said, they got the score too wide because I don't think we're going to blow them out like that. But anyway, turn a negative to a positive is we need help with the defensive tackle because they was running and they don't have the best running back. So it's like, how can we stop the Eagles? How can we stop the Ravens? We need an actual defensive tackle. So I don't know any free agent defensive tackles available, but what you call them, can't do it. I forgot. I'm so mad I can't think of his name. You know what I'm talking about. Not the one that pass rush. The other guy that basically took Clark's spot. He is not good at stopping the run. Right? And I saw one play where it was horrible. Bad tackling. Like everybody was bad. The tackling was bad. It was everybody played to the level of their competition, and that seems like what we do. So we need to find a free agent defensive tackle. I still think we need to get the dude that got cut by the Raiders. We should try to see if we can sign him or something. But anyway, go back, go.
Yeah, I definitely didn't. I'd have to go back and look. I didn't leave the game necessarily thinking our run defense was a problem. I mean, there were, like I said, those 2 plays where they busted for big runs on the one drive. Otherwise, I mean, we pretty much shut their offense down entirely. I'm significantly more concerned about our offensive line. I know we've got injuries and whatnot, but I mean, it was everybody. I mean, I'm watching Elton Jenkins get cooked. I mean, what are we going to upgrade that guy? I haven't seen the stats yet as far as PFF and who they credited for each individual pressure. Maybe it will just be all the backups, and maybe for the ones that weren't, you could blame it on communication issues or whatever with not having the normal guys out there. But I mean, not only that. This is 3 weeks in a row now. Jordan's been one of the most under pressure guys in the NFL, which has never really been a thing before. And I chalked it up to, well, it's because of all the blitzing. But now this is week 3, and maybe they blitzed a ton too. But I don't know. It is becoming a pretty serious problem, the amount of time that Jordan Love has spent under pressure, and it's not getting better. Considering this was supposed to be an improved offensive line, I never liked that frickin' left guard we brought in. I don't know why he was seen as some kind of a phenom. Banks, not that he's had much time to play, but every time I see him, he's just getting beat. I haven't seen him do a single good thing since he's been here. But, I mean, we have Rashid and we have Elton at center, and we still have Zach Tom at right tackle. Like, it seemed like it should have been okay. Sean Ryan is still the right guard. I don't know why everything would have fallen apart all of a sudden. What could possibly have happened that just made everybody not good on the offensive line? And if it is just constant blitzing, then it's up to Matt LaFleur to figure out how to make sure that they stop doing that. And I thought maybe we had done that because we started punishing people, putting up 27 points a game. Jordan Love is playing like a madman, throwing the ball down the field. I mean, the pressure hadn't been nearly as bad as that Browns game, at least. And instead of backing off, Jordan Love gets sacked about 900 times in a game. And again, that creates a little bit of panic and some bad decisions. And it's not even just a Jordan Love thing. I mean, that's part of the benefit of constantly getting after a quarterback is you hope that they start getting flustered and doing stupid stuff. I mean, we saw that with Jared Goff, who's an extremely accurate quarterback. He started getting a little bit like, well, what the heck was that? I mean, that pick that he threw, it's not a very Jared Goff thing, but you start panicking, you start making mistakes. We got to get that figured out, man. Maybe there's nothing to figure out until we get healthy. I don't know, but not good and not great. Just got to be grateful that Dallas lost their best pass rusher. I don't know where he went, but I hear he's gone. Actually, you know what? Let's take a break. We'll be right back with Chris from Alabama.
Oh, what's going on, Ryan? Chris from Alabama, man.
What's up?
Wow. Didn't expect that to go that way. Well, I did say we were going to have one fluky loss. I just didn't expect it to be the Cleveland Browns, but I guess this is the game that it was. Man, it's crazy, man. Love with a bad decision. I don't know what he was looking at. Oh, man. That's crazy, man. I ain't expect this right here. Well, we had one mistake cost us the game. It's the only thing I can say. That one mistake cost us the game, and nip and tuck. That mistake doesn't happen.
What was
We
that?
pretty much win that game, man. Got them back in there and tied it up and blocked field goal. Man, it was just a lot of. That was tough, man. That was tough right there, man. But it is what it is, man. We 2-1. You know, we gotta regroup, come back, and get the job done, man. And it was just one of those games. It was an ugly ball game the whole way. And, you know, it was just one of them games that just didn't go in our favor, man. One of the games that we should have won, but it didn't go in our favor. But it's early in the season, so we still got time to bounce back. But, yeah, disappointing in this one, man. It was tough, but it is what it is, man. We still good early in the season. Let's go ahead and regroup and watch the film, learn from our mistakes, and just continue to make the corrections, man. But go Pack-O, and I'll talk to y'all later.
Yeah, and, you know, I have no reason to believe we're not going to be all right. You know what I mean? But it is frustrating because, you know, there is the thought process, I guess, that I forget already who said it. It was Omar or what, but, you know, if it had to be a team, maybe let it be it was Nico, I think, the Browns, because it's AFC and all that stuff. But on the other hand, it's like, man, you assume you're going to lose some of the tough games. So losing one of your easier ones, and maybe that's not even a fair statement, considering how good their defense is. Maybe it's not even, you know, we'll see if they go on to win a few games. If Flacco keeps playing like that and the defense keeps playing like that, they're going to win several more games. But, yeah, we just got to let it play out, man. You know, as much as I roll my eyes at the whole, hopefully this makes us stronger thing, what else do we have to go on? It has to. You have to learn from this. You have to get better from this. I keep getting reminded that we had extra time to prepare for this, and it just keeps upsetting me every single time I think about that.
Hey, Jared again. I know the Rams also lost that way, so I mean, you know, the block 6 or kick return 6 by Jordan Davis of all people. Oh my goodness. And you know, I do think a lot of it today was the offensive line getting shuffled so many times again. I really think they should have just accounted to have both Banks and Tom out, just so there was continuity. I don't know. It seems like every time that we try to push people back in faster, they're just like, they get hurt.
Notice
or
that too, huh?
go out of the game for a little bit. But, yeah, I don't know. It's just like, it's just wild to me, that we actually lost to the Browns. The one game for sure everyone thought we would win. Well, if we come out 3-1 before our bye week, I'll take it. I don't mind getting the loss off early in the season. I mean, I think the Eagles were 2-2 to begin the season, ended 14-3 last season. You never know what could happen. Plenty of games left. And then, you know, one person to blame, Rasheed Walker. He said we're going 17-0. It's on him. On him.
Jinxed it.
Go Pack-O.
You know, I'm just saying. Like I said, we probably should support the guy for saying it, but the people that said he jinxed it, aren't looking too stupid right now, are they? I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Whatever. Freaking whatever.
Hey, this is Dakota, the nerd in Tennessee again.
Yo.
And if I learned anything from this game, it's that I need to maybe purchase something from a yard sale or an estate sale or something that doesn't mean anything to me or that I'm not actively using, that I could rip apart.
That's a great idea.
Whenever something this level of pissed offedness occurs. Yeah. Mm-mm. All right. That was ridiculous. That was the longest set of dumbass penalties I've ever seen. Like, just stupid stuff. Like, false starting. Literally, again, I've said this before, my 8-year-old son is on an 8U tackle football team. And every time we do the little practice thing where we move the ball and we yell hard counts all the time, but they're not supposed to move until the ball, all the kids, one kid yells, "When do we move?" And all the kids yell, "On the ball." The kids freaking know it. Why the hell does our starting offensive lineman not know it? I am going to take a minute to get over this, dear Lord.
Yep. Well, it's a good idea with the yard sale thing. Back in college, we used to yeet some mugs. We had, so it was a 3-level house that we lived in. And from the, I think, 2nd floor balcony, because that's where the kitchen was, we would launch mugs toward the giant, the garbage bin that was back out there. That wasn't really out of anger. That was just for fun. We would scream Aaron Rodgers as we did it. And you're probably hammered drunk, but that was a fun activity that we did. I'm just saying, maybe something like that would be good. You can go to the friggin' thrift store and get mugs for like 25 cents or something, or probably these days it's probably like $5 because everything's so expensive all the time. But just get some stuff that breaks and then break it, It'd feel real good. You just have to have a designated place for it and a wife that would be willing to allow that, which I don't think is my situation. Not a mug, certainly, but I don't know, something. Maybe just get like one of those plastic baseball bats and something hard and just hammer it until you break the bat. I don't know. But yeah, something would be good.
I'll tell you, Ryan, Green Bay 10, first time caller. If we don't change out this offensive line, I don't know what. That was horrific. Horrific offensive line blocking. Unbelievable how much the Green Bay offensive line got blown up today. That was ridiculous and sinful. They got to do something with this offensive line. Green Bay 10 out.
It's one of the most potent descriptions of something that's bad I think I've ever heard, which is sinful. It is. Like, it was so bad, it was sinful. Yeah, I mean, I already talked about it a little bit, but that was very obviously the biggest issue in terms of just their ability as well as their inability to stop getting penalties. I saw somebody online say something to the effect of that may have been like the worst offensive line play since Matt LaFleur has been here. And I think that there's certainly a good point to be made about that. You mentioned changing out the offensive line. I mean, that'll take place when our guys get back healthy. I think the question is, what does it look like healthy? You know what I mean? Like, are we good, or do we have bigger issues? And the massively frustrating thing is if we do have issues to the point where it's like we need to go out and get some new guys. Okay, well, we drafted guys in the first and second round. Are you telling me that those are not the guys that will be making replacements? Because that would be unbelievably upsetting if that was the case. Again, I'm willing to be somewhat patient, but maybe we need to start focusing on getting these guys ready. Again, Jordan Morgan, refusing to just give him a position. And I understand, flexibility is what we love about it, and, somebody's got to go out there and play all these spots, but I remember somebody was pointing out, like, how bad Jordan Morgan was, and like, oh, look how bad he got beat or whatever. I didn't know where to look. I didn't know which position to look because he played so many different positions just in this game. I'm not trying to just make excuses for him because the snap count thing is stupid. But, it's imperative, and it's becoming increasingly obvious how imperative it is that we have guys that are going to become good football players. And I really hope that Morgan and Belton become that. But I think that needs to be the priority. The long-term vision, and that goes to the stuff with the injury thing too, where it seems like we're focused on short-term much more than long-term, rushing guys back from injury and everything. Let's start taking a more long-term approach and say, hey, in a year or two, I want Morgan starting in a position full-time as a really good offensive lineman. What is the best path to get us there? Let's say that is the goal. What is the best path? And make that the thing that we do. Same with Belton. What is the plan with Belton? We're making him a permanent right tackle backup? That's effing stupid. I'm sorry. Figure something else out. Unless you want to move Tom, which would also be stupid because we just paid him to be a tackle. I mean, maybe the plan is to move Tom to left tackle, and then you've got Belton at right tackle and Morgan at left guard or something. Maybe that's the thing we're going to do. I don't know. But again, if whatever the plan is, let's really push hard at making sure that these two guys are given the best opportunity. If they're just bad picks and bad players, then so be it. Then we got a serious conversation to be had about how upsetting that is for our GM to have put us in that situation. But we'll friggin' deal with it. By the way, I saw comments online about, oh man, just imagine how stupid that was because we should have taken Graham Barton. Everybody knew he was better. Graham Barton is out there playing probably worse right now. Against Houston, his grades for this past week haven't come out for Tampa. He's playing left tackle for them. But against Houston, 2 sacks, 2 hits, 3 hurries, 7 total pressures in that game. I mean, he was complete dog crap. So I don't know that Graham Barton is necessarily the answer either. But I hear you as far as how just appallingly bad that situation is, whatever. And they do need to figure it out. I'm concerned that the last several moves that Brian Gutekunst made were big mistakes. That Morgan is not the answer. And I'm not saying this definitively. I'm just saying I'm beginning to get worried. Morgan was a bad decision. Belton was a bad decision, and Banks was a bad decision. And those three strikes are going to set us back a little bit as far as offensive line and our ability to fix it, because we're not just going to replace these guys right away unless we get lucky with some late round picks again. I don't know, man, but that needs to be a priority, and that needs to be better, significantly better. And we got to start looking at our offensive line coach, because that has gone backwards, I think, ever since we promoted Stenovich to offensive coordinator. We got Butkus in there, and I just don't think it's been as good since Butkus has been in charge of that. Matt LaFleur is in charge of the offense. I think Stenovich maybe needs to take a larger role in the offensive line. Maybe he already does. But maybe Matt LaFleur should kind of say, look, I'll take, and maybe put some more responsibility on some of the other guys to step up and do some of the whatever preparation for the upcoming games, whatever the case may be. But I need Stenovich working with that offensive line a little bit, at least overseeing it, because it just has not been where it needs to be. We'll take a break. We'll be right back. By the way, Green Bay 10, you referred to yourself as a new caller. It popped up in my thing as Green Bay 10. So I don't know if it just picked up the name that you assigned to yourself, in which case I apologize, or if you have called before. I don't recall putting down Green Bay 10. I would think I would remember like the story behind that or something. So I got nothing. But good to hear from you, I guess, again or for the first time.
Yo, Ryan, Drunko, Rico.
What's up?
That's about 9:30 Sunday night after the football. I don't even know who's playing tonight, actually. Anyways, my fantasy league took a crap because I put in all my Packers, just wishful thinking. I mean, I knew it wasn't a good idea, but I put in Luke Musgrave, big donut there.
Yeah.
I put in Wicks, I got a little there, and I put in Golden. That's improving every week. And Reed, of course, I had to pull him out. And I had the Packers D, and that looked real good till the end. And anyway, the Packers kind of laid an egg. Like I said, it was a trap game. I could see it, I was hopeful, obviously, but I could see it, something like this kind of happening. Jordan could have done better for sure. One thing in Golden I was a little disappointed about, and maybe I might be completely off base here. What do you guys think of this when he caught that nice third down play, right, to get us out of the deep in their own territory to get us away from the goal line there. I just wondered why he didn't make an effort to turn that upfield. Kind of jogged her out of bounds, and I was like, dude, let's see these wheels. We want to see them. And I don't know, because he caught the ball not that close to the sideline, and he kind of jogged out of bounds. I was like, so I was a little disappointed in that, and I might be wrong. Maybe I didn't see that right. Like maybe maybe he struggled to stay in bounds. I don't know. Either way, like I said, I wasn't disappointed. I was just like excited. I was like, here we go. And then you ran out of bounds. You know what I'm saying? So, what else? Yeah, a bunch of those passes, or you call them passes, whatever, to Jacobs that seemed like a group effort between Jordan and Jacobs. They couldn't connect on out in the flat or whatever, when you throw it horizontally, and Jacobs couldn't reel them in and run. And the defense, real good and then real bad. And special teams, yeah. Mm-hmm. Anyways, it happens. We're going to work on it. I changed my prediction. We're not going to go undefeated anymore, guys. But we're going to go close. It's going to be close. Anyways, we're going to Big D. I think we got to go down there, right, next week.
Yep.
And Mike is going to be jacked and pumped and turned. He's going to be turned. Like Jaden Reed in his surgical recovery Instagram. Turn.
Well, yeah, the Matthew Golden thing, I think we all kind of thought that and felt that way. I mean, I have to assume he, you could tell like his momentum obviously was going in that direction, but it did seem a little odd. Usually you see guys kind of do that little dance along the sideline trying to stay in bounds. It didn't seem like I mean, you even phrased it as, why didn't you try? And that's kind of, I think, I guess, I don't want to even say frustration, but maybe where the confusion comes in, where it just, if he had tried and couldn't stay in bounds, we all probably would have been like, oh man, he couldn't do it. But not seeing him try is like, I don't know, man, maybe you could have. Maybe we're just wrong about that, and there was no way, and he knew that, and that's why I mean, obviously, he would have loved to turn it upfield because that's a touchdown. It's just a guaranteed, it's a game-clinching touchdown if he is able to turn that up the field. So, I mean, I want to give him the benefit of the doubt. Obviously, he's not going to try to just run out of bounds just because he doesn't give a crap. But I think all of us were kind of like, I don't know, dude. Could you? Or no, I don't have a choice, I guess, but to trust that you know what you're doing, and there was just no way that you could have stopped your momentum and turned it up the field. But given the gravity of the situation, The fact that we're talking about like a 90-some yard touchdown, game-clinching touchdown, I don't know. Yeah, I guess it's worth at least asking questions about that. But what can you do? What can you freaking do? It's unfortunate. Because, I mean, they did. I mean, Matt LaFleur did scheme up a touchdown. Jordan Love threw a dot, you know. Some people seem to be upset that the direction or whatever, or the angle of the throw or something. It's like, I don't know, dude. I think that was like a handoff. I don't know. I don't know what could have possibly been done better other than it would have just been nice to see him try. Just so I could verify. Not that it's, not that it's up to me or anything. I'm just saying it would have been kind of nice to just see you try a little bit. Uncle Rico Part 2.
Yo, it's Uncle the Rico. I ran out of time there, but then I wasn't going to call back, but I remembered one more thing. Well, does anyone know why Coach LaFleur called a timeout at the very end of the game? I mean, the Browns had 2 timeouts to stop the clock if they needed to. Was it to get the correct personnel on the field to try to stop them when they're fixing to kick a field goal? I mean, I was like, why are we stopping the clock for them? Didn't get that part, but does anybody know? All right, John. Y'all don't dwell on it too much. We're gonna have the Packers are gonna beat themselves up all week and figure it out. So we're not gonna beat ourselves up because we're Packer super fans. All right, Rico out.
I don't remember. I really don't remember that. Probably either a personnel thing or who knows? I don't know. I don't recall, honestly, that situation.
Hey, Ryan, it's Jersey Mike. So, man, that loss has just been reeling me all day today. I mean,
yeah,
it's just a bad one. It's just...
Yeah, I mean, I mean it when I said I just refused to participate in football. I had to turn the other games off. I didn't watch the other games. There's a lot of crazy stuff that happened this week, which kind of makes you feel a little bit better that it was just a weird week in general. Everybody's mentioned their fantasy football teams all sucked and betting sucked. Obviously, I told you guys a lot of where I was leaning with some of the bets and whatnot. A lot of that ended up being terrible. Not going anywhere near the direction that I would have thought. Just a lot of weird, wonky stuff going on this week. Freaking thought I was recording that whole time I was talking. Bottom line, it was bad. I needed to be away from football, and I couldn't deal with football. And anyways, I don't even remember what I talked about before this thing stopped recording. Let's continue with Jersey Mike, and I was skipping around in your call because I started playing it when I realized it wasn't recording. Let's try this.
Today, I mean, it's just a bad one. It's just a bad one. Like, it took me till 4:30 in the morning, and I've been up since 2 o'clock. I don't know what's going on, but it took me till 4:30 this morning to realize, like, how upset I am with Packers fans. Let's be real. The defense played really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
Really good ball. Yeah, they gave up some crap, but they played good ball all game. And let's be real, it was the offense that was lacking. And I mean, having your Zach Tom go out there and get injured the first play, and I mean, like, there's a lot of things that went wrong on the offensive line side, and there was poor blocking all day.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I want to get to. Okay, Jordan Love was under duress for a large majority of the day. He made really bad decisions at times, but he actually didn't make that many.
Right.
But when he made them,
it was just how bad it was. You know, I mean, this is kind of like I talked about with Quay Walker, where he missed that tackle and it was brutal, and it ended up in a touchdown. To where, like, if that play didn't go for a touchdown, nobody would have really cared that much. It's one freaking missed tackle, but it went for a touchdown, so it became like a much bigger thing. It's kind of the same thing here. I mean, you make one boneheaded throw, and there's just no, you see that all the time in football where it's like, dude, there was nobody there. What are you doing? But in this case, the defender was able to jump into that nobody's there zone, and it ended up being right down in very much scoring position. And it ended up essentially costing us the game. So, I think the fairest way to do it is to judge things based on just the mistake itself, leave out the results and the field position and all that kind of stuff, because otherwise you're factoring in other things that are a little bit unfair. Either every time you make that mistake, you assume it's going to cost you a game and give the other team a touchdown, or you don't do that. But it should be fair across, as opposed to judging it based on the results. And we don't do that. We always judge it based on the results, and that's not really a fair way to do it.
Egregious. They were in the most, important moments of the game, and I think that's why they're so prevalent to everybody.
Right.
But let's be clear, the reason he was making some of those boneheaded decisions was because they just were not able to play offense the way that they should have played offense. I mean, you've got guys like Golden who catch a ball that should have been turned into a very large gain, and he just kind of like fucking slides out of bounds. Sorry, excuse my language. But like that's the kind of stuff we're dealing with here. So we've got to take, our Jordan Love critique with a grain of salt here. And specifically talking about that interception. All right. All game he's been under constant duress. Okay. He sees that they're in man coverage. He makes a call for slants, because if he can get Wicks off the line or Dubs off the line to make a real quick, good read, boom. Well, Wicks is in the primary position to do that because he's in between the boundary and the slot receiver. So what's going to happen is you're going to have your slot receiver do a slant, which is Tucker Kraft, I believe, on that play. I forget who it was. And they're supposed to take the safety with them. The safety's supposed to ride with them. And if you see that they're in man coverage, you throw it to that guy if that guy's on the outside shoulder of Wicks, which he was. And there was a pretty decent throw, honestly. And the place that Jordan threw the ball was specifically to make sure that nobody else could come and.
Jersey Mike Part 2.
Hey Ryan, Jersey Mike again. So he anticipates Delpit running upfield with Kraft and the backer, and thinking that Wicks is going to be open. And it's a predetermined read, just looking at the defense, and he just whistles that ball in there. And it does look like Delpit initially goes to bite on the route. And as Love goes to uncork that, Delpit just jumps it. And you know what? Really heads up play by Delpit. Really heads up play. Love and the offense should have realized that, there wasn't really much going on offense, and they should have realized that they were going to be keying on, one of them short plays, because that's kind of all we were able to do. And credit to the Browns for playing really good defense. Let's be real. They were all over Jordan Love all game. They were stopping the run, which they did to Derrick Henry, and they put it on Jordan Love to go win the game. And they made it nigh impossible for him to do that. He didn't have time to think. He didn't have time to get reads. Look at what happened when he did. He made plays. The second he had time, he made plays. So let's be real. This was a complete embarrassment of our offensive line. And people are going to get mad at Matt LaFleur for his play calling. You know what? Screw you guys. Let's be real. The people to blame are the offensive line. I want to be super serious about that. I don't know what the grades are. I don't know what's going on. The offensive line is to blame for this game going wrong. End of story. We have talked time and time again how you win through the trenches. It all starts on the offensive line and the defensive line. If you win there, you damn near win everywhere else. And that's what the Browns did. They controlled the line of scrimmage and they beat us. They beat us. They showed what happens when you do that. So this was a kick in the teeth. I hope Matt LaFleur figures out what the heck is going on with that O-line so that he can actually call some plays outside of dinks and dunks, because he can't expect anybody to guard Jordan Love or Josh Jacobs. So for anybody complaining about that side of the thing, screw you. Honestly, screw you. I don't know what more you want from those guys. Okay? The offensive line needs to do better. All right? That's it. End of story. Okay? Offensive line needs to do better. I'm not talking about giving them all day, but give them a chance. Give them a moment to actually breathe for a second here. We are a lot better than that. Anyway, clean it up. Go Pack, go.
Yeah, and I already said it, but I'll reiterate it. If your contention is that Matt LaFleur called a bad game, and he might have, I don't know. I've conceded that that's entirely possible, and I have theories on what maybe was done wrong. But the issue is you can't say he's calling bad plays if you don't know what plays he's calling. That's kind of my biggest issue. What plays did he call, and he should have called a different play? You don't know, because you can't see what he's doing. And like I said, guys might have been open down the field all day. So until you go back and look at it and see that these are just bad play, I mean, again, if Jordan Love's getting sacked and guys are still not even coming out of their breaks because he wants to send them down the field, which usually somebody is open, or I shouldn't say open, but running underneath. You very rarely have like 4 verts just flying down the field, But that's going to make a big difference. For me, in order to blame Matt LaFleur, I need to see that there was just nothing to do. There was nowhere for Jordan to go. Right? Otherwise, yeah, like Jersey Mike said, nothing is going to work if the offensive line can't block. And so I expect there are going to be people open, and I'm probably going to see Jordan Love under duress, which means it's not Jordan's fault. It's not LaFleur's fault. It's the offensive line's fault. Now, if you want to blame Matt LaFleur for the offensive line, maybe you can do that. Again, it's going to be helpful to go back and actually look at it. There are certain things you can do schematically, but there's also just guys who are not even getting hands on people right in front of them, and I don't know what you do about that, because unless you have the ability to see the future, to see, hey, my center is going to just fall on his face and not even get hands on somebody, so we need to have a running back in to chip to help my center against some no-name defensive tackle. Unless you can have the foresight to see that, I don't know how you just scheme that. Because it wasn't like it was just Myles Garrett dominating all day. It was our entire offensive line getting whooped by their entire defensive line. It's hard to make a game plan when it's that situation as opposed to, like, how do we erase one guy?
Hey, Ryan, Beer Cheese Benny. It's the day after this terrible loss. Horrible, hideous, terrible. And was listening to Blue 58 with John Meerdink. He was not happy, as none of us are. None of us are happy. But he made a good point. And it's that the Packers on the road, their colors are green and gold. Why in the hell were they wearing white socks? It's supposed to be green socks, and he talked about this. Like, if you can't even get that little detail right, what makes you think you're going to beat the Cleveland Browns? Okay? Green and gold. Gold pants, green socks on the road every time. So, gotta freaking figure it out, man. All right? And now, at this point, we are out of any talks of being contenders until we can be proven that we are. Because that offense was horrendous. It was horrendous, man. And if people want to say I'm overreacting, I don't care. It was not right. It was not good. And we just can't have it. We cannot have it. Jordan Morgan, I mean, I've probably already talked about this, man. But he is incompetent. He's incompetent. He just commits penalties. And I don't know about his grade, but, I mean, clearly, guys were getting through. I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, and Love just looked, I mean, well, what is he supposed to do when the pocket collapses in 2 seconds? But he just didn't look smart. Like, what? I don't know how you're not just audibling, like, to these plays where we can just get the quick passes. And then when we did do quick passes, there's screen passes that we can't block for. We couldn't block for them. And then I rewatched that blocked field goal that they had, and Tucker Kraft was just lazy. I mean, it was just laziness. I mean, literally, dude. I'm still at a loss for words about this loss, dude. I mean, it just doesn't make sense to me, man. Defense does everything they can. Once again. And that's not a winning recipe, man. You can't just... It's almost like LaFleur just said, yeah, we're going to rely on our defense, and we should be all right. Like, we just do whatever the hell we want on offense. That's not how it works, buddy. Figure it out.
Well, yeah, getting back to your point in the beginning about not contenders, I mean, there's the old adage, you're only as good as your last game. And, I mean, I'm not going to blow this whole thing up and pretend that the last game is the only one that you count or that matters. But, you know, there is always an element of you always have to prove yourself. You know, now the narrative, fortunately for us, and it works for us, but now the narrative is like the Cleveland Browns have by far the best defense in football. Maybe they do, maybe they don't, I don't know. But we're going to look at this past week and everything, and that's going to be the narrative up until next week, right, when the Browns give up 700 points or, 41 points again like they did to Baltimore. But these things change on a dime. The Packers were the greatest team in football 48 hours ago. And now look where we're sitting. And, go in and trounce Dallas, and we're right back at it. If we go in and blow up Dallas and win massive, and Cleveland wins again to go to 2-2 on the back of an incredible defensive performance, we're going to be feeling great. I don't know who they're playing, but we're going to feel just fine. Like, oh man, it turns out they were actually really good, and we beat Dallas so bad, and that felt so good. We needed that, and I think we're back on track, and maybe we needed that loss. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, you can only take it a week at a time, and unfortunately, this week was a humbling week, and we'll see what next week brings. We'll see what the narrative is next week. The Bears were the most inept team in football last week, and they were a complete joke, and I did say, I don't know, I feel like they're actually not as bad as people are saying, but, now all of a sudden they're back, and where are all the Caleb haters? Because now Caleb's a freak, and he's the greatest, and it's like, it's overreaction central for everything, and that's going to be for us too, and we're just going to have to take our medicine. It is what it is. But the thing that's going to matter is how they respond, and that's it. And you know what? It's only going to matter for 1 week, because they can dominate against Dallas, and they're right back on top, and they're in the top 5, top 3, top 2 conversation all over again. And then they go into the bye or whatever, they come out of their bye, and they lose after the bye, and we're right back to, oh, this team can't win, and they're too inconsistent, and this is how it's going to go, and it's going to be that way all year. There's going to be games that they win that you feel like they shouldn't have won, and we're all going to be like, oh, that's not good enough, and they're not going to be a championship team, and it's a long season, man. It's a long season filled with ups and downs, and we're just going to have to deal with it. It's just the way she goes, Rick. Way she goes. All right. Let's call it for the day. Got a couple calls still sitting here. We'll save those for tomorrow. You all have a good rest of your night. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Oh, baby, I watch my Packers fall down in Cleveland town last Sunday. 13-10, the hurt cuts through my soul, but I've been down this road before. Yes, I have. When the cheese and gold don't shine no more, but the sun's gonna shine on Green Bay once again. Though my heart is aching, love will heal this pain. All them fans drove home in silence in the cold Cleveland night, believing in tomorrow, though tonight don't feel right. But champions know the feeling of rising from the ground. I still believe in Title Town. What goes down must come around. Baby. 'Cause the sun's gonna shine so bright on Green Bay once again. Tell me now, though we're hurting tonight, so bad, we'll be champions again. Go Pack, go! The sun's gonna shine. Shine on, shine on, shine on, shine on, shine on, shine on.